In this video, I'm going to show you how to replace the rear integral links on this BMW 550i. These are going to be located behind the rear wheels. Let's get into it. I'm going to remove the wheel, use a 17mm socket, take the lug bolts out. Before I take the last one out, I'm just going to hold the wheel on so it doesn't fall. Take that out, grab the wheel, and slide it off. We're going to remove the bolt and nut that goes straight through here. Use a 24mm socket on the nut and an 18mm wrench. Loosen this up. It's good that it spins inside there. Take that off. Pry down on the control arm a little bit. That's going to separate. And on this vehicle there is a level sensor for the suspension. This vehicle doesn't have airbags, but if yours does, you want to be careful. Disconnect this level sensor. I'm going to use a 10mm socket. Take the nut off. If I use a 11mm wrench on the other side, it'll stop that from spinning. Take that nut off and separate that arm. Set that aside. Using an 18mm socket, we're going to take off the sway bar link. Take that nut off. Now we're going to loosen these two bolts so that we can drop the lower control arm, swing it down. But before you loosen this one, because this is an alignment adjustment, you want to mark this so it's close. Just use a marker. Just mark where this cam is. It's this eccentric washer. And just so you can get it as close as possible when you put it back together. We're going to remove these back bolts so that we can take the control arm down. I'm going to use an 18mm socket on this bolt, 18mm wrench on the nut. Take that bolt out. 18mm wrench on this bolt, and then 21mm socket. Take this nut out. Washer off. Just hammer this bolt out. Just tap the bolt out. Just use a rubber mallet. Slide that out. I'll grab the control arm and we'll just pull it down. And that's out of our way. Using an 18mm socket, we're going to take this bolt out. And it comes right out. Now take the link, get that lined up, get the bolt started. Just get that so it's just tight enough so this still moves. We'll torque that later. Take the lower control arm, get this lined up, get this bolt through. Get the nut started on the other side. All right, that's good. Get the back lined up. Just try to get this lined up. Just going to use a pole jack to help get that in the right spot. You can use a screwdriver just to get this to line up. Lower down the pole jack. Take the washer, get the nut started. Just gonna snug this down, we're not gonna torque it yet. Right there is good, it's still movable. I'm gonna take the lower control arm front bolt. Get this lined up. Put the nut on. That started. Before we tighten any of these bolts down, we want the control arm at ride height, as close as possible to ride height. So we're going to use a pull jack and just go underneath here, just raise up the control arm, get it as close as possible. It would be ideal if you could put the wheel on and then tighten all these bolts on the ground, but it's not that easy to get under there. So do the best you can. And just make sure this is lined up. And we're going to torque this nut and bolt to 129 foot-pounds. That's good. And now we'll do this one. Tighten that down. We'll torque this to 129 foot-pounds. $129 foot-pounds. I'm going to tighten this nut and bolt down. And we'll torque this to 177 foot-pounds. Now I'm going to torque this upper bolt to 75 foot-pounds. Good. Now we can lower the pole jack. Make sure the sway bar link went through. Get that nut on. Snug that nut first. Now torque this nut to 47 foot-pounds. Now connect this linkage for the sensor, get the nut started, put the wrench on, and we'll tighten this down. Now put the wheel on, get the hole lined up. Take the lug bolt, get that started. snug that down. Take the other lug bolts. Get those started. And snug those down. Now we're going to torque the lug bolts to 98 foot-pounds in a cross pattern to tighten the wheel down evenly. After finishing this installation, it's important to have an alignment done on your vehicle. And just go around again, double check.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.